Welcome. In this video, we are discussing what is penetration testing or exploitation. Also, we are going to look at steps in exploitation. And our practical is all about how to prove the danger of exploiting a vulnerability. So, we are already in the gaining access stage in our methodology. The tools we are going to use are our Metasploitable2 server, Nmap, and Metasploit framework. Now, what is penetration testing? Penetration testing is simply the practice of simulating an attack against a target in order to exploit known vulnerabilities found and thereby recommending solutions. This is also related to what ethical hacking is all about. What are the exploitation steps? An asset can be exploited in two ways. The first way is by exploiting vulnerabilities through open ports. To demonstrate that, we will look at our result from the Nexus scan that we performed. The second way is through the use of malware and getting a reverse connection. When exploiting vulnerabilities through open ports, below are the steps to exploit an asset through its vulnerabilities. Number one is to identify vulnerabilities, and this is where the use of a vulnerability scanner comes in. You determine the risk level of the vulnerabilities, and then you determine the exploit difficulty. We are going to demonstrate the first method, which is gaining access by exploiting a vulnerability. And we are going to demonstrate that on our Metasploitable2 machine. And the service we are going to exploit is the FTP service. As listed in the steps to exploit an asset through its vulnerabilities, the first step is to identify vulnerabilities. For you to know how to identify vulnerabilities, watch the video on how to use Nexus to scan a target. There you will be able to determine the risk level, whether it is high, low, or medium. Now we are going to determine the exploit difficulty. So we are carrying out this exercise on our Metasploitable2 machine. Power on your Metasploitable2 machine. To determine the exploit difficulty of FTP service running on Metasploitable2 machine, the first thing we are going to do is to scan our Metasploitable2 machine with our tool Nmap. So we are going to grab the IP address of our Metasploitable2 machine and then take it to Kali Linux and scan with Nmap. The IP address is 192.168.8.235. So we are going to Kali Linux now. On Kali Linux, we are going to scan our Metasploitable2 machine with Nmap. Hit enter. We will wait for our results and then we move to the next stage. Our Nmap scan is ready and it shows that our FTP has a version of VSFTPD 2.3.4. From here, we are going to use our next tool, which is Metasploit framework. Metasploit framework is the number one tool to use when it comes to exploitation of vulnerabilities. It has other functions, but we are going to use it in this demonstration to exploit the FTP service running on this server, Metasploitable2. To launch Metasploit framework, type MSF console. Give it some time to run. Our Metasploit framework has loaded up. And this is what it looks like when it loads up. This is where we run our command, our Metasploit framework commands. And the operation we are going to perform is how to hack the FTP service running on Metasploitable2 machine. From our Nmap scan, it shows that VSFTPD version 2.3.4 is available. So how do we combine Metasploit framework with this scan we have performed? First, we are going to perform a search on Metasploit framework. In this case, our search keyword is going to be VSFTPD on Metasploit framework. To perform a search on Metasploit framework, we use the keyword search and then what we want to search for, in this case VSFTPD, and hit enter. It has given us the search results. We have two results, index 0 and 1. We are going to select the exploit. We are going to type use 1. The 1 represents the ID. Hit enter. This shows that this has been used here. The next command we are going to run is show options. Hit enter. This will give us all the parameters that we need to set, parameters that are required. And as you can see from here, under the required column, it shows that we need to set the R host, which means remote hosts. And this remote host is the IP address of the machine that we want to carry out the penetration test on. R hosts means the IP address of the target that we are trying to penetrate. And then the R port means the port number. Already, we have our port number, which it has taken automatically, port 21. So we are going to set the R host, which is the IP address of our Metasploitable 2 machine. To set this, the command is set. It has set our IP address. Show options to see if the IP address has been successfully set. Hit enter. This shows that our host has been set to the IP address of our target. And the next thing we are going to type is to exploit. Type exploit to now gain access. This response shows that we now have access to the target. And it says found shell. Command shell session 1 opened between my machine and the target. What I can do from here is to begin to run my Linux commands. I can run ls and then it lists all the directories that exist on our Metasploitable 2 machine on our target. I can navigate into any of the directories of my choice. So this is how you can gain access into a target using the vulnerabilities in the service and then combine it with MSF console and combine it with Metasploit framework to give us access into that target. Here I can make a directory and call it user. Hit enter. List it, and then you see we have created the user here. On our target, we can verify that. This is the user, this is the directory we created from Linux account when we had access, and it's found here as well. So this is how you exploit a vulnerability. We have exploited the vulnerability in FTP service running on our Metasploitable 2 machine following these steps and using our tools, especially Metasploit framework.